evening. The sun is beginning to set on a beautiful Sunday afternoon on the south coast. And I can confirm to you that the sun has set on Kenny Jackett's time in charge of Portsmouth Football Club. It has indeed. A very good evening to you all. Welcome along. We are live. Sam is here. Andrew is also here. And Andrew's got something in his hands. What's that, mate?
Is he happy, Tom?
Hang on. Come in. Come and say hello. Come and say hello. Look at his smile.
Look at him.
Oh, mate. It's restored my faith in human nature and also in English football. It's restored my faith in what really is justice and what should happen. And that's people being paid too much money to do a really, really poor job and depress us like you have done for the last 3 years. So now it's like a weight, isn't it? It's like a massive weight lifted off everyone's shoulders.
Sam, your immediate reaction?
Yeah, Matt, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked, Tom. I really wasn't expecting it. I thought if it was going to happen, I thought it was going to be after the Northampton game. And the fact that he wasn't given the boot then, I was convinced he's going to be here to the end of the season. But I'm really shocked and quite pleasantly surprised that the decision's been made. It was obviously the right decision to make. But yeah, just more shocked than anything. I was just really surprised this morning when I saw the news that come out. But it's just how I'm sure we just all feel incredibly excited about this run-in now. You know, I had a look at the fixtures, and Pompey have actually got probably 9 or 10 games in that they really should be going on to win in that run-in. They're not playing teams near the top of the table, so it's really exciting, and yeah, just really, really pleasantly surprised.
Just to say a very warm welcome to everyone who's just joining us live on Fournilwrittenalloverit. A bit of a it's sad that we're celebrating the loss of a manager like a party, isn't it? And I want to say at this moment in time, I did a video earlier on today where reacted initially to the news. It was a very short one, so I didn't say everything that we probably will discuss tonight. But I think a thank you for your service is required, and I'm not sure if Andrew's going to echo that or not. But there,
Tom, no one likes to see a person who's
you don't.
But as we said a lot of times in the last several months and years, if you're continually failing at what you do and you adopt the attitude you adopt without any real effort or passion or even explanation to why you're failing and allowing the team to fail and failing everybody around you, including the fans that want some passion. All we wanted was to watch some football. That's it. And have the passion, at least have some interest, some encouraging words, but nothing. And that's the thing. We've had enough time. We've had 3.5 years, nearly 4 years, whatever it is. That is long enough to give anybody in any position, in any job, especially in a senior management position like this, at such a famous football club like we are.
Absolutely. You're just mentioning the management and the way that the decision-making process was gone about. I just want to flash up this. It's just literally been posted in the last sort of couple of minutes or so from Pompey chairman and owner Michael Eisner, who said, "I'd like to thank Kenny Jackett for his loyal/professional partnership with Pompey. I wish him well in the future. His overall record is widely documented and appreciated by us. We are totally focused on an exciting end to the season, resulting in promotion." Sam, big words from Michael Eisner there. He believes that promotion might be on. Clearly, do you feel the same?
Yeah, I do now, and it's amazing what one decision in football can do. Because if you asked me this after Sunderland on Tuesday, it's never that answer in a million years. And as I've just said, Portsmouth's run-in is one of the most favourable out of anyone in the top 10. So looking at that, if you get this team playing, they were top of the league at Christmas. And then, you're not top of the league for being. If you've got poor quality players, you've got to have some good quality players to be top of the league. So I don't see any reason why they can't at least get in the playoffs and push forward. The teams above us are all dropping points regularly. Hull often drop. I know they've won 5 on the spin, but they often do go on little kind of ruts where they don't win too many. Lincoln lost 2-1 to Rochdale at home yesterday. Rochdale they hadn't scored a goal in 8 games. They lost 2-1. These teams above us are stuttering. The next step forward, they're going to be really interesting. See how they go about appointing a new manager, whether it's a caretaker or to the end of the season or it's someone more longer term. But I'm really excited just to see how these players can play without this kind of defensive style of football the whole time. They're almost getting unleashed onto League One for once, and I'm actually really excited about the Peterborough game on Tuesday.
We're going to bring Richard into the conversation in just a moment. Before we do so, Sam, just one more for you, and I'd like everyone's opinion in the live chat on this, but how do you feel about the idea that he was sacked rather than walked? And we were thinking that would never happen. We were more discussing, particularly on the previous stream that was just yesterday, that we were even contemplating, an extension to his contract, and for the powers that be at Pompey to sack him. That's the most surprising thing for me. I don't know how you feel.
I think more than anything, it's a relief. After the Northampton game and the Sunderland game, I really was starting to question the Eisner's and Mark Catlin's decision-making ability and what their real ambitions were for the club. I mean, when you look at these Sunderlands, for example, that they've made the change, they've taken a gamble, brought a new manager in, and it's really worked for them. It almost felt as if we were accepting we were going to be a League One club next year, and by keeping Jackett in charge, and it's actually quite refreshing, and I'm pleased. It's almost restored some kind of faith in Pompey for me, that we've been given, that they've made this decision. They've got a lot of fans back on side by making it. They could have let it drag out, but yeah, I'm just surprised they've made it, and it's given me more confidence in the owners. It's given me more confidence in Catlin that they can make these decisions.
Andrew, Sam's just said there that his faith has been restored. Does it surprise you that he was told that his job was no longer at Portsmouth, or because that was something that we weren't expecting, wasn't it?
The timing, Tom, and it's often, we should have looked at this a bit more deeply last week when they came out and backed him to the end of the season, because that's often what chairmen do, and then they fire him the next game, don't they? That's often what happens in football. It's a weird sort of thought process, and the way things are put in the press and put out there.
Is that quite conventional then?
I think it's happening quite a lot, and people back them and they go, "That's it," and then he's lost his job. I think that happens a lot. You see it on Jose Mourinho and a few other people along the years that have had it happen to them. I think that Sam said, today is the mark of our return to the Championship. That's the way I see it, and we're all very excited. Now the pressure is on the players now on Tuesday night to come out the blocks and have a right go at Ipswich and
Peterborough Tuesday, then Ipswich.
Peterborough and Ipswich, I beg your pardon. Peterborough on Tuesday night, then Ipswich, and beat those two teams. We're capable of beating both those teams now. Whereas yesterday afternoon, I'd have said we weren't capable.
Absolutely.
And there's a difference, I think.
Let's add Richard to the conversation. Good evening, mate. Welcome along to the stream. Thank you for joining us. And what I will say is we're gonna say this to every guest that joins us tonight, but this is out of contractual hours on Fournilwrittenalloverit. So I really do appreciate everyone jumping in, including Sam and Andrew. You rushed your run back to come and be with us, didn't you? Richard, what is your initial reaction to the news that we've all been braced with today?
I'm excited, and the positivity is, it's immense now, isn't it? I say I've come back in today, clicked on Instagram, saw the news, and it's like what Sam said. We're all surprised because we thought he was going to stay there till the end of the season, but it shows that the club want the passion. Sam mentioned, Sunderland, Ipswich, all had new managers in a very short space of time. Now look where they are, fixed well within the playoffs. We've now got that opportunity. Okay, we've got 2 difficult games coming up, but we have that running now where we could have the 9 games where we could get it'd be great to have the maximum points. And I think we just need to cement ourselves now into the playoffs and, hope for the best that, we do well in the playoffs. But it's who we're going to bring in. I say I've had a look online, on about certain people, but but not happy to come on a short-term deal, like a temporary deal till the end of the season. Is it a temporary deal? Do we just look at saying, right, well, let's get somebody in? We want Joe Bloggs in. He's the one who's going to give him a 2-year contract to somebody. I say some of the names that I mentioned. You've got obviously Harris. That was at Millwall and Cardiff. Sean and Driscoll. But when you start looking on the Wikipedia, they haven't done a great deal really. Certainly the ones who are sort of mid-table, of the list of contenders. I think I've even seen Lee Bowyer in there. Is he a contender? Is it he's because of obviously Charlton haven't got the financial backing? Is that somebody that we want? What I mean? But I say, when you look at like Chris Wilder, he's like your Eddie Howe, isn't he? Somebody, he's a reputable, good reputation about him. He's done the job certainly for the likes of Sheffield and that, but. it's all depending, I think, how much Pompey want to pay, you know. And
I was just going to say, another one to add to your list, Sam, is the man who used to be leading things at Barnsley when they were promoted from the league that we're in right now. Howell Wider, to me, seem a little bit like a pipe dream, Sam. I don't know what your opinion is on your favourite name, and we'll come back to Richard on the name that he thinks is most likely at Pompey. But your gut feeling first on who might take the job.
For me, it looks like it's going to be Daniel Stendel. He's just moved to odds on with Sky Bet, and he's kind of come in throughout the day. He was around 50 to 1 when the list first came out, and now he's odds on. So I think there's something in that. Obviously, the manager markets on betting companies, it's all about them. The odds go down the more people put money on certain people. So I think there's something in Daniel Stendel, potentially ex-Barnsley manager. Didn't have a good time at Hearts, but I do think Hearts are a little bit of a basket case of a club. You know, they've got a lot of issues. But at Barnsley, I remember him being, they played a very good style of football, exciting, gave us a couple of really good games in that season as well. And obviously they got promoted automatically, and he was very unlucky to lose his job in the Championship at Barnsley. So I think that'd be a really good appointment, in my opinion. Obviously, again, that's been previously mentioned, whether it will be to the end of the season or maybe a little bit longer term. That will have to be wait and seen. But I mean, ideally, take it to the end of the season. If he gets us promoted, then he gets a contract. If not, maybe look somewhere else. But yeah, for me, Daniel Stendel. Obviously, you've got your Eddie Howes and your Chris Wilders. In my opinion, they're just a bit. It's just on a different planet, in my opinion. Eddie Howe's more likely to get the Southampton job than the Portsmouth job, in my opinion. I think Eddie Howe's a lower Premier League manager than a high-end League One manager, in my opinion.
He did do it with Sheffield United from the start, though, Sam, albeit he is a Sheffield United fan.
Wilder.
Chris Wilder, I get where you're coming from, but he is at the moment he's in the Premier League. He's managing a Premier League club, and I actually think he's quite unlucky to be losing his job. And I think if there's anyone who's going to end up in the Premier, if you told me who's going to end up back in the Premier League first, is it going to be Chris Wilder or Sheffield United? I'll probably say Chris Wilder. I think he'd get another Premier League job, or at least a high-end Championship job, as opposed to coming all the way back down to League One. I know some other names that have been thrown around. Neil Harris. I wouldn't necessarily be too keen on that. I think Neil Harris is a bit. Well, obviously he's in the mould of Kenny Jackett because he played for Kenny Jackett at Millwall, kind of a similar style of manager. But again, maybe shows a little bit more passion and desire, which is what fans have been wanting. And then I actually quite like the idea of Lee Bowyer. Strangely, I'm in the minority here, but I did quite like the idea of him because that season when Charlton got promoted in the playoffs, they played, with the 2 times we played them, they were the best team I've seen in the league all season. Played some very good football, and they're actually quite unfortunate in the Championship with their ownership issues. So I actually think Lee Bowyer is quite a good manager. I just think he's had a hard time of it this season. Quite a few things gone wrong for him. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Stendel is the new Portsmouth manager. I don't necessarily think it'll be by Tuesday, but I do think there is something in that as well, that his odds have come down significantly.
So Stendel he was in charge of Barnsley when the year that they went up then into the Championship.
Yeah,
right.
Hang on just a second. What do you make of Stendel then, Richard? Do you think, you mentioned a couple of names and you said Lee Bowyer as well, but from your point of view, having done it with Barnsley, he's got the track record and he's very well respected EFL manager in this country.
Yeah, I saw the games obviously of that season, the year that they went up, home and we went to the away game as well. And I think it is, it's like Sam was saying, it's the way of his football. He's a good attacking manager. And, I think, somebody that's certainly, if he's coming on odds on favourite now, this is obviously, they're very keen on him, or certainly Sky Bet are very keen on him to, thinking that he's going to be that man. But, will it be by Tuesday? I reckon it'll be by close of play tomorrow, he'll be in place. And that, so, because by the time, the only thing I was, Joe Gallen, I was hoping that, obviously with Jackett going, the whole of his team in effect, would move out, because the last thing I wanted was somebody to come in temporary, who's already at the club. I think, we need a fresh burst, a fresh impetus into, for these next 13 games that we've got, but, we should have had it a bit earlier on, I think, certainly the Northampton game, we shouldn't have given Kenny Jackett the trip to Wembley. You know, I think because he hasn't shown that enthusiasm, I don't think, on the sideline. And I think I saw some YouTube feed yesterday of buyers having a bit of a kicking off with one of the players, as they came back on, on the side of the, from half time, sort of arguing with one of the other lads. I can't remember who it was, but it just shows that there was an unrest there, and I think now, if we can get somebody in for Tuesday, fresh impetus and, fingers crossed, isn't it?
Absolutely. Richard, if you've got Mother's Day celebrations, I completely understand if you want to shoot off.
Rachel's cooking, mate. That's
no worries. If you're free to stick around and stay right there, we're going to speak to some of our guests as well. Sam, if you've got to shoot as well, I understand too, mate. But if you're free, it'd be great to get you back on the show. We're only planning to go for sort of up until 7 o'clock tonight. So we've got plenty to get through in the next hour or so. Thank you both for the moment. But what we will do now is speak to Retro Shirt Sean. Richard's still there and he will be back in just a few minutes. We're also going to get Brendan and Mike on the stream. Good evening, gentlemen. We've all got smiles on our faces. They're behind the Peronis. So
it looks like no one's had a chance to get dressed.
Well, this is
I've been to work.
Well, I did say earlier on that it is out of contractual hours on Fournilwritten all over it. So we appreciate you all making the time, especially on Mother's Day and especially when you've been working.
I just want to say one thing to
yeah.
Oh, I just want to.
Sorry.
There we go.
Just wanted to say one thing. I think when you alluded yesterday to, or someone did, to Kenny getting a new contract for the next year or 2 years, you were spot on.
But I think, Andrew, in my defence, I did that for a reason, because since Kenny's been sacked, he's rung me and he's told me, he said, thanks for mentioning that on 4-0 written all over me. You've lost me the job.
Well, so we can only apologise, Mike.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, there you are. See, I do. I did it for you guys. That's all I did it for.
Thank you very much. Retro Shirt Sean, what's your initial reaction? Kenny Jackett is no longer the manager of Portsmouth Football Club.
Excited, absolutely excited. It's the unknown, isn't it? There's going to be a change, irrespective. So it's the fact that actually you might see some passion on the pitch for a while. It's got to change, and it's going to be nice. It's different. It's the unknown. We're not going to have the same on Tuesday night. Win or lose, it's going to be done.
Isn't it lovely? Your faces look.
Everyone's very happy, aren't they? Very happy.
For the first time in about 3 years, I think we're all happy again because we've got the passion back, haven't we? We can feel it.
Something to look forward to. Something. It's just going to be different. It's the fact that we can watch a game and it's not going to be the same tactics. Players played in the right positions, hopefully. It's uplifting.
Yeah. Encouraging and motivational and inspiring, isn't it? Already. It's a Pompey way.
And that is the complete opposite as to what you were saying, wasn't it? Just slightly more than 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
We're going to get, we'll do it now. We'll get Alex and Adam involved in the stream. Good evening to you, gentlemen. Come on. There's a lot of alcohol being consumed tonight, ladies and gents, and rightfully so. Just Alex, first to start with you, your initial reaction to what we've seen today, and I'll say the same to you. These are lovely words to utter. Kenny Jackett is no longer the manager of Portsmouth.
Mate, absolutely buzzing. it's just a weight. It feels like a weight off all of our shoulders, and it's like Andrew says, it's the excitement and the just the passion. It feels like it's back. We've got to get the right appointment, and completely hesitant on that, and hopefully it happens. But it's not going to be Kenny Jackett, and that's all that matters at the moment.
Yeah, that's what we're all saying. Let's put it on record to saying that actually no one likes to see anyone get the sack because they don't. But Wilder at Sheffield United, as Sam said earlier, was in my view criminal. They should not have got rid of him. He's done everything well from League One to Championship to Premier League, and with the resources he's got, I think he's done a remarkable job. Conversely to that, someone's had 3 good years, they haven't done it, and it's time to move on and let someone else have a go. And I don't feel guilty about that. I don't feel guilty about laughing and smiling because we've had such pain, haven't we, for such a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I think you don't want to see anyone get sacked because it's someone losing their job. And as we all probably know, Kenny's not a bad bloke. He's just not a very good manager for us now, and we just need a change. And we wish him all the best for the future. I'm sure if he takes charge of a team in the same league as us in the future, he'll probably beat us. But that happens every time. So Yeah, I think that it's just exciting, and yeah.
Adam, who's your top name in your head at the moment? You've got more hair on your chin than you have on your head at the minute, mate. Just noticed that one, but I'm catching you up on that one as well. Who is the name at the top of your list right now as the new Pompey boss?
I mean, we'd like a lot of names, to be honest. I mean, I'd personally say I'm not that knowledgeable in the manager sector, unfortunately. I wouldn't pick out one. I'll be brutally honest. It's not on my mind, but I'm just glad he's sort of out of there now, I think, to be honest. That's my best scenario. I think the players could probably play for themselves better than he was. I think if we had like Charlie Daniels or someone who was a leader, they could probably play better than he was playing. So that, for now, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And you actually said this to me, didn't you? You said that you don't care really who comes in. You're just happy to see him gone, and you're happy that we have this opportunity now to reignite the season.
I'd rather have Matt Letizia.
Oh God! Oh my word!
Steady on.
I'd rather have Matt Letizia.
I think you've just taken us off the air, mate, with that comment.
No,
I think
I'd rather
you're
have
right,
Matt Letizia than Kenny Jackett. Fact of life. I wouldn't want him, obviously. I'm saying that's how bad it got. That's how bad it got.
Yeah, I think the connection must be going. I think
yeah. Time to go.
Oh, we're just seeing a massive drop in viewers. Thank you for that, mate. That's really great.
Matt Letizia. The point I was making was that the metaphor I was using was simple. I would rather have Matt Letizia than Kenny Jackett, which is why that's how bad it got.
Stop digging out of the grave. Stop digging yourself out.
I'm still struggling for him to justify what he said.
He's still a big no scummer. Let's put it out there.
We'll put it out there. Brendan, I haven't actually asked for your immediate reaction and how you feel now that Kenny's gone, and is it, is this the time now that the season really begins for Pompey?
It begins again because also we started off again a bit. We started this season very slow under Jackett, and then it picked up again for a few months, and then we've had the dip after Christmas, and it hasn't been any better. Maybe he should have been sacked a few weeks prior to today. I think we could all agree he should have gone maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. But I think if you listen to on Radio Solent this week, I was on there. I got a text message to come and have a chat in the morning on the Alan Newman show, and he even asked me the question, "Are you a Jackett out person?" And at the time, and I told him, and I said I wasn't a Jackett out because I wasn't the person, because I knew that the club were going to back him. Well, supposedly going to back him to the end of the season, and I said, I'm not Kenny out, but I don't think he should be in the job anymore. Because I think it wasn't right for us. So yes, I'm glad he's finally gone, but who we bring in is another question. Dad's got a whole list of names here and some stats on things he wants to talk about, obviously, as he normally does.
He's got time now, so Mike, you're more than welcome to just tell us. Well, first of all, have you got a name in your mind? Like I said to Adam, have you got a name that you would go to as your top at the minute, as your prime spot?
I have, and nobody's mentioned it. Believe it or not, and after looking at some of those that are on the list that Sky Sports put out or Talk Sport, whatever, my favourite, believe it or not, is Jason Tindall. Now, the reason why I say Jason Tindall, he's done some great stuff with Eddie Howe, because we're not going to get Eddie. We know we're not going to get Eddie. But he was assistant manager for with Eddie for quite some time. January 2009, he started off with him, and they got promotion from 2 to 1 after saving them from relegation the season before. And then there's a transfer embargo at Bournemouth where they both ran away to Barnsley.
No, Burnley.
Sorry, Burnley. Sorry. When they were at Burnley, there was problems and issues there. And within 18 months, they came back to Bournemouth in 2012, I think it was. From there, they got promoted into the Championship. And from there, 2013, 2014, they finished in 10th place, their first time in the Championship. Now, that's something that I'd like us to be able to do when we get to the Championship. We've got to get there first. I think that it will pick up. Then once they were in the Championship and they had that first season there, 2014, 2015, they went into the Premiership. And then in the Premiership, they've 19th, 12th and 14th. And obviously, yes, we know they've been relegated. Something's gone wrong, I suppose. I'm not sure. I don't know the ins and outs of it. But I can't understand why they sacked Tindall, because his percentage win rate was 41.94%.
Kenny Jackett was better than that when he got sacked.
Well, no, hang on, yeah, and I appreciate what you're saying, but I think that Jason Tindall would do us a good job. He's a localish man now. He's been down here for some years. I'm not even sure where he was born, but he's just a name that hasn't been mentioned that I think we could do a lot worse than having somebody like him. But
Sean, what's your reaction to Jason Tindall being thrown out there?
It's a name that I hadn't considered. Interesting background. I didn't know a lot about him. Always focused on Eddie Howe. I personally just want someone with some passion to the end of the season. You know, I don't think we're going to get anyone long term now. It'd be nice if we could, but I heard Stendel's looking very much. He wants a guaranteed contract after the end of the season. So whether that's going to be on the table or not, I don't know, because they can't. You know, we know the Eisners. They don't like to negotiate long term when the future's uncertain. So, you know,
yes, I know. Andrew, you just wanted to jump in, mate.
Yeah, I don't want to take over the show tonight, but I just wanted to say that living locally.
Well, you already have with the Matt Letizia comment, so thank you for that. That's really helpful.
I did sort of quantify it, Tom, and did repeat that he was a big nose scummer. So let's
put
it out there. No,
fine.
No, look. What the point I was going to make about Tindall is living locally. I've got a few of my mates that live locally, business friends and whatever that I know that.
Just clarify. Bournemouth is living locally, isn't it?
Bournemouth fans, yeah. Which, of course, we all know recently became Bournemouth fans
and weren't about 3 years ago. But anyway,
a bit longer than that, maybe 6 years ago. But they became Bournemouth fans quite conveniently.
And now they're not, which is quite funny, isn't it?
Quite conveniently. But let's not keep on about that, Tom.
No, sorry.
This
I know we have, yeah.
So, but anyway, the point is with Tindall. A lot of them have said they want him to go because his football was boring and there was nothing attractive about it in this championship in the last 6 to 8 games. So we might end up with the same that we had before. And they were saying they think they've dropped right down at 6th or 7th now. They keep losing, dropping points. They're not playing good football as I hear it. That said, they have got rid of a lot of their good players, of course, but they have got the nucleus of a good lot in there. And also, he's got domestic issues, which doesn't help his position, as I understand it. So we probably want somebody who's got a foundation of family that's solid, and someone I would suggest it probably isn't Tindall. If it's only my view or take.
Gents, just to throw this one in there, it's going to cover everyone's face up. But this was the tweet from Michael Eisler that myself and Sam discussed a couple of minutes ago with Richard. But he said, "I'd like to thank Kenny Jackett for his loyal professional partnership with Pompey. I wish him well in the future. His overall record is widely documented and appreciated by us. We are totally focused on an exciting end to the season, resulting in promotion." Adam, just coming to you, mate. Your face says it all, but Michael Eisler's expecting promotion. Are you now?
I mean, I'd like to think so, but to be honest, I mean, it's going to be hard work. It really is. And I think if we can get, playoffs and then have a good playoff run and then expect maybe a good run next season, I don't think that'll be that bad for us. I think we can't maybe expect too much from this. I think that we don't want to put too much pressure on.
Okay. Sean? Is promotion plausible?
I want J-Mo and Horizon.
And you did say that yesterday, didn't you?
Bring them in just at the end of the season. Give them a whirl. It'll be exciting. It'll be different. That's all I want.
The likelihood?
Nah.
Slim.
Does it matter who comes into you, Sean? As a man, like they're all managers, aren't they? I know, different people have different qualities in different areas, and we were just bored of Kenny Jackett at the end.
With a bit of passion, someone who's going to put a rocket up the team and get them playing out their skins just at the end of the season, just to see what we can achieve when the players are giving it their all. Because at the minute, they're not.
And what do you expect that to be? What we can achieve?
Well, if they play together, they're a good team. They're good players. You know. You look at the teams that have beaten us recently, and you'd have picked our players over there as generally off paper. It's just the fact they've had the life sucked out of them for the last 6 months.
Does anyone in particular know much about Stendel? And anyone in the stream?
I know that he's got a bit more passion than Jackett, but that one very hard.
Well,
I've just seen
My
the
grandma's got
celebrations.
more passion for Pompey than Jackett, Alex, to be fair.
He had more celebrations when I saw when Barnsley went up, and he looked like a good laugh, and he proper had the bond with the team, and that's something we need. And I was just going to say, if we do get someone in this long term, I feel like if we got someone like, I don't know if Stendel's the right man because I don't really know fully enough about him, but if we got someone in like that who got these boys playing as we know that they potentially can play, sees out the end of this season, sees who the dross are, get them out in the summer. I think if we made playoffs this year with a manager that's put a rocket up the boys, I think this could be the best playoff chance we've got since we've been in this League One. So yeah,
Sean, you were nodding about Stendel when I mentioned his name. What can you tell us?
I like what I've seen of him so far. I haven't seen a lot, but my only concern is I know he's got offers from France, and he's German, isn't he, originally? And as far as I'm aware, that for him to relocate down, he's not going to do it for a short term. Really, he's going to be looking for a set down roots and for a while. So yes, I'd like him. It depends whether they could get him to the end of the season. I don't really want to sign a long term manager unless we can get someone like Eddie or someone like that.
Do you think we sign someone to the end of the season that's going to be someone? If we sign someone long term now, they've got every ambition possible to get it up this season, and then they've got a chance in the Championship as their first proper season. That's the motivation.
But from a contract point of view, it'll have to be weighted heavily on if they get promoted, because otherwise you could overpay to get someone in now and then have them on a big contract while they're still in League One.
Yeah, agree with that.
So I think the eyes are quite savvy business-wise. I think a short-term or a bridging appointment, or someone with with the carrot of you will get a bigger contract if you get up. But it depends on, for that you need someone local. People aren't going to relocate families, kids from schools, and all of that on a 12-game, 13-game deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have Eddie Howe in, but
well, exactly, and it's a name that's been bounded around, and whenever there's been it's been a weekend of managers losing their jobs, isn't it? I mean, Chrissy Wilder at the start of the weekend, and I think the his name's gone. Guy at what's his name? It was literally this afternoon. What's his name? It's gone out my head completely.
Move on.
Oh, what's it? Karanka. He's completely gone. From Birmingham City. I knew you'd help me out there, Alex. The only thing that I would be concerned about, and I want to go to Adam on this one, is it too late? And have we wasted a season with Kenny Jackett? Or is it never too late?
I don't think we've wasted it. I think we had, obviously, I think maybe a week or two earlier on could have been the prime time to do it, but I don't think it's wasted at all. I think getting a new manager in to learn the players, learn who's best, maybe the weak links, like maybe not starting Sean Raggett every game. But yeah, I think getting a new manager in to, assess the team is definitely important now. And then if we get promotion, it will be a bonus, I think, for us. But yeah, we need someone who can really lift the players up and get a new spirit around everyone.
Someone's mentioned Chris Coleman.
Oh, it's not a nice reaction for the top right-hand side of your screen.
Not all the
what has he done as a club manager? Has he done anything? I've got it here.
He did well at Fulham, didn't he, to be fair? But he did well at Fulham, but he had some cash there. Did he well in Wales? Did he run Wales national team for a while?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's
he
not
took
the same.
Sunderland at a bad time, to be fair, but
Yeah, he did.
yeah.
Right, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. If any of you are free to stick around, we're going to come back to the conversation in just a few minutes. We've got a couple more bits and bobs to get through for you. So thank you very much for the moment, guys. And if you're sticking around, it'd be great to see you towards the end. If not, enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day, and we'll see you on Tuesday night.
See you later.
Stick around if you can. There's people talking on here, boys.
There's people talking. Well, that's normally what happens. Is some people are saying what they shouldn't be saying. We're going to speak to Aaron and the legend Sean Meads in just a moment. But before we do, let's hear from Ollie Ward. He's a Leeds fan, and here's what he had to say about today's departure of Kenny Jackett.
Hello everyone over on the 4-0 Written All Over It channel, and it is a good day for Pompey fans. Kenny Jackett has gone. All right, I'm very happy for you guys. Who do I believe is going to be the next manager? I'm not too sure. Maybe a Eddie Howe, maybe a Chris Wilder. I hope whoever comes in can help you get back up the leagues. You know, we miss Portsmouth. Just as a neutral fan, you do miss a big club like Portsmouth, okay? For you guys, everyone over on the channel, everyone who watches this channel, I'm just happy he's out of your club because he was making it a toxic place, all right? He just done bad, okay? And in the end, he's finally gone, and I'm happy for you guys. I'm very happy, Pompey fans. This is my just little reaction for you. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this live. And yeah, thanks, Tom. Love you.
Love you too, Ollie. Thank you for that. Aaron.
United fan.
Aaron and the legend.
I want some of his hair.
Mate, 12th of April, we can go to the butcher to the hairdresser's, can't we?
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Aaron, you're smiling for the first time in several months.
Yeah, well, I'm also gutted as well because I should have put a bet on it. Because on the 7th of March, I actually messaged you and said that they're going to get rid of him after the final if we don't actually win. And at the time, it was 125 to 1. And I wish I put a tenner on it.
I think you did actually say it on the stream as well. There's a very good chance that if we went back on some of the streams, we'd be able to see it. The legend, Sean Meads, is wearing his Pompey hat, and
he's got a smile. Yes.
He has got a smile on his face as well.
Yeah, well over the moon. Absolutely delighted.
Very good, very good. And
we're really annoying today. Really annoying to everyone. I even went to a supermarket and I'm dancing around the aisles and everything. It's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And luckily where I go to this certain supermarket, there's another Pompey fan who works there and he didn't even realise. So like he's dancing down the aisles and everything as well. It's like, it was just mental. I was so much more happier than I was yesterday. It's just unbelievable.
It's incredible what a single man can just do, isn't it? And Sean, I wonder who's in your mind at the moment for Kenny Jackett's replacement. Have you got anyone in mind?
I've got more people that I don't want, basically. But I'm like I'm a bit like Adam. I'm not a manager follower, to be honest. I only really follow our club and what we're doing. If you want short term and you want passion, but we haven't got the crowds to develop, I would have gone back to Steve Claridge to get us up.
Thoughts?
Oh,
Steve's a Pompey boy through and through. Obviously, St Mary's.
I think he's down at Salisbury, isn't he?
Yeah, I do know some friends of mine at Weymouth, 30 miles west of us here, that had a very, very, very unpleasant time when he was there as a manager many moons ago. There's a lot of sort of, let's say too much, but there's a lot of under things that went a little bit awry there under him, and he ended up falling out with them, getting paid off. But he's Pompey boy, he's for passion. But you're right, we haven't got the fans there to support that passion.
We haven't got the fans in to push what.
So we need tactics. Need tactical then for now and towards the end of the season than perhaps passion, don't we?
But there's lots of names running around. Like the other guys have said, do you go short term to get us to the end of the season and then appoint somebody that's going to push on from where we end up, probably back in this league or lucky to get in, the final of the playoffs? Tony Pulis was my other one.
We've had him before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Aaron, I was
sorry.
I was just going to ask. Aaron, what are the chances now? You're a very positive guy. What are the chances in your mind of promotion for Pompey this season now, given Kenny Jackett's left the building?
85%. Because massive. Only because you could see it with the players, especially yesterday. He's holding them back. He's not allowing them to play in how they want to play. It's too, like everyone else has said, it's too defensive. Hope by tomorrow lunchtime, someone will be in place at Pompey at the training field. So he's going to say, right, I'm going to let you off the leash. I'm going to put you in this position. I just want you to play. So tomorrow, Tuesday night, it's going to be phenomenal. We're going to come out blazing. But it's just, we've got to get that right person in. We can't really rush it. But I think Catlin's already worked out who he wants in.
I think it's already set in place.
So could we just say this, guys, about the smiles on everyone's faces? We said it earlier, and the happiness we're all going through. we're like that because we're Pompey passionate Pompey fans, and we're all like that after this dullness we've had and the lack of ambition and enthusiasm and excitement that you would expect to get from a manager. Imagine what the players are feeling. They must have been feeling the same way as all of us, and now they've got that weight lifted as well. Perhaps they can feel the change and the positive change, and they're going to react to this. I think tomorrow on Tuesday night, and I think we could see us play some football that we can play. We hope, regardless if there's a manager there or not. You know?
Oh, definitely. And you could see yesterday that there was niggles going on the pitch and off the pitch. Even after the full time and everything, you actually saw their manager and everything going around talking to all their players and even talking to our players. Mr. Jackett was just standing there with his arms crossed. And then you got the camera going up to Kate Catlin and everything as well. And he was like scowling at him. You could see something was happening. So that question you gave me yesterday when I said I'd be a fly on the wall in the director's lounge with Roy Keane and everything like that. I say you never know. You could see Roy Keane at the training ground tomorrow, just as an assistant for someone else, just to give his experience as well until the end of the season. It probably won't happen. I reckon that Daniel's definitely going to be there until the end of the season now, but you never know. Roy Keane, he was there. Fair enough, he knows all the boys and that from Salford anyway, but you never know. It could be something that Roy Keane thinks, right, yeah, let's give it a go. I've been at all the other clubs and everything, but this is Portsmouth.
Absolutely. Aaron, just to say, a boy who I've got a lot of love for has just sent me this one. Portsmouth job is one hell of an opportunity. This is from Mr. Jamie O'Hara himself. An amazing club with great fans. Would love to be a part of it going forward in some capacity. That was 20-2 this afternoon. Yet to hear if anything's gonna come of that one. But Andrew, I'll go to you first on that.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Andrew.
What? Jamie O'Hara.
Well, Jamie O'Hara was a fantastic player for us, I thought, when he played for us. I loved Jamie O'Hara. He's a wonderful left foot. You, the older boys will remember watching him play at Fratton Park. He was amazing, and he had the attitude and the ability. Whether he's a manager or not, he's probably a motivator, but whether he's a manager or not, I don't know, because I don't know what he's done since then.
He's doesn't he?
Was it Maidenhead? Not Maidenhead. He was at a lower league team, but he didn't really do much. He was doing that he was doing that while doing part-time at TalkSport. Right. So then eventually he got sacked the other month. So he didn't do really a great job there. But yeah, he's got a good attitude on him. He's always talking about Portsmouth, but I think he needs a hell of a lot more experience in management before we even attempt to go there. We need to get someone in place who's had a few years' experience, got a good attitude, willing to play attacking football, and then come out like Cookie used to do. If we played badly, he'd say, look, this is what our problems were. We need to improve here, 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 and here. This is what I'm happy with. And then the following day, they actually they change it around. But we need someone with that experience. Otherwise, we're not going anywhere. But we have to have that one person in who's had a few years in management and wants to actually achieve something with Portsmouth.
Sean, Andrew was just mentioning there that, it's these players have probably been living under a bit of a cloud in terms of, their lives at the moment, and it completely takes over your world, doesn't it? How much will any manager provide an oomph to those players and hopefully go and do something with this season that we've got in front of us? Last, 13, 12 games?
14 games, yeah. It's going to be massive, massive chance for players to actually put their real pressure and passion into the last 14 games. But also, I think you might, by getting a new manager in, he might have the balls to stand up and talk to the players and, see where it's gone wrong, what position should you be playing in, and turn it around that way. Get some feedback from the players, which Kenny was stuck in his ways too much. I think that was just, it was just falling apart for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Gentlemen, go on, Aaron, what were you going to add there?
No, I was just totally agreeing because Kenny, he was good man management, but he wasn't man managing the team. He was all right talking to the board and the owners, but when it come down to the players in the team, he had no chance. And Jamie O'Hara, Billericay, I've just been reading it in the notes. That's who he was actually manager of, Billericay. But he didn't really, But hopefully Tuesday, I've got a list of 11 people that I think could be a manager. but but I'm going to wait until tomorrow lunchtime. I think come tomorrow lunchtime, we'll have an announcement of who's going to be manager at the end of the season. If they get us up.
Can you just promise us something? You won't let Mike drink any more of your fish water?
No, I've given that up. I'm back onto the honey Jack Daniels now. So I'm back on that now. And I'm using a straw, so it's only the one.
Gents, thank you very much for the moment. Earlier on this afternoon, I sat down with a fellow League One fan. He's an Ipswich fan. You might recognise him, and he's a little bit concerned now as to what the prospect of Kenny Jackett going out the door might bring. Let's take a look.
Alex, mate.
Yes.
Your reaction to the news?
Mate, it's big. It's big for Pompey because obviously you've got a couple of tough games coming up. You've got Peterborough Tuesday, you've got the boys Saturday, Ipswich. And look, when I first saw it, I was shocked. I was surprised it had happened because it's a bit odd happening this close to the end of the season. And to be completely honest, Tom, I'm a little bit annoyed because I knew we would have beaten you next Saturday if Jackett was in charge, but now he's gone. I think there's still a chance, but I think it's not going to be easy. I think maybe a draw next Saturday now, but we'll see. You know what happens when managers goes, don't you? So.
Oh, mate. Hopefully, it's a massive uptick in form for us now. It's just the question on replacements, which I'm sure we'll be discussing in the stream. Alex, give us a now Kenny Jackett's left us. Where do you honestly think we will finish come the end of the season?
I think it's hard to tell, mate. To be fair, because it depends who you get in. But you might scrape playoffs. Yeah, I don't know. I think Doncaster. It's a tough question, Tom, because Ipswich are starting to do well. Your Jackett's obviously gone now, so you could start to pick up form. I think it's going to be probably a 2-horse race for that 6th spot now. So I'm going to say you'll finish 6th or 7th.
Oh God, mate, this is it. This is the start of the season now. Trust me.
Yeah. No, I think it's. I think it's going to be tough. I think we'll get top 6. I really do. With Paul Cook, I think we will. But best of luck to you, mate.
Cheers, mate. Well, thanks for jumping on. I'm very happy, and I know you're very annoyed, but thank you nonetheless. And see you next Saturday.
Let's have it, mate. Let's have it. And we'll be doing a bit of build up together, won't we?
We will. I'm very much looking forward to it, son. Speak to you in a bit.
See you later, mate.
So he was saying 6th or 7th, Alex. I mean, I'm a little bit more confident that I'm not all talk. I wasn't just saying that because I truly do believe that this is the start of our season. And I wonder where realistically, I don't think I've asked you that, but where do you think Pompey will finish now that we've got this opportunity in front of us to make something of the season?
It's so tough, isn't it? And I think if we get someone in on, before Tuesday, and not even if we, don't get a result on Tuesday, because I don't think that's a given, because I do think Peterborough, are on a bit of a roll. Obviously, they're going to be thinking, we got a new manager, they need to stamp their authority on the league. They're still pushing for top 2. So I don't think it'll be easy to get a result on Tuesday. But even if we don't, like Andrew says, it's still filled as excitement. It's not going to be a depressed Tuesday night thinking we haven't got a result again. But I think if we are that team, and I say it every year, a lot of the time, if that team that gets into the playoffs and makes that last spot, I think they've a lot of the time got the best chance of going up. Because when we got in the playoffs, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, when we kind of just fell off the top 2 and we went into mediocre kind of middle playoffs. Then Charlton came through flying at the end of the season, and they had the best shot because they were motivated, they were there. And they were so buzzing to be in the playoffs. Whereas if you finish at the top of the playoffs, you're gutted that you haven't made top 2. So I think we could have that effect this season if we can make that playoff spot with a late surge, and hopefully we'll knock Ipswich out and Cookie, and then Alex will be not as happy.
Yeah, and when he's not happy, he is not very happy at all. So hopefully that is the case. Sean, I was going to ask you, mate. You mean? This might be completely absurd of me to say, but is there any opportunity for Pompey to even look at automatic promotion to the Championship this season?
It's what pipe dreams are made of, and Pompey always do things the hard way. We would love them to go on a run, winning every game to the end of the season. It would be amazing. But I think it's one of those steps too far. you know, in the playoffs, more than happy. You know, it'd be just exciting into the season. If we can get those couple of extra games, anything can happen.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. We'll let you shoot off and thank you for joining us live on 4-0 It's All Over It. Alex is going to add something. Go on, son.
Just one more. I think this is it, boys. We get someone in and we beat Sunderland in the playoff final.
We beat what?
That's it. We beat Sunderland in the playoff final and we're all happy and thinking it's the best Pompey we've ever had. And I'll leave you on that and go and say I'll have another drink tonight.
Cheers, Alex. See you soon, mate.
See you Tuesday.
There we go. You were jabbing on at me for some reason, but I'm very pleased to announce that we're going to get an opposition view live on 4-0 It's All Over It. Ben joins us live. Thank you very much for jumping on, mate. Lovely to see you. You know a lot about Pompey. What's your initial reaction to the news that broke today?
Probably news that I would have got rid of him at the start of the year, personally. But I think some of his comments of late, you know, I think the one yesterday was the final straw, you know, a step in the right direction. You know, I watched parts of the game yesterday and it just looked flat. And, like, it's not a Portsmouth that... I think your fans, I don't think you're bothered that you lost him. I think it's the way that you lost. Portsmouth want a team that fight. And, you know, you had that under Paul Cook. Under Jack, I thought he rolled over a bit too easily. And when the news broke today, I was surprised that, you know, they'd eventually fired the gun. I never thought they'd do it, I'll be honest with you. So I think they've probably done it at the right time. You've got 13 games to go and you've got to regroup.
Absolutely. And what do you expect from Pompey this season, Ben? I mean, is it a playoff finish for you? And is this, whoever the manager is that going to provide that oomph that we need in order to get there?
Yeah, I think Stendel's obviously the standout right now. He is, you know, some describe him as a bit of a nutter, really, but he is literally enthusiastic. He's, you know, hardworking. He's, you know, some of his reaction when he was at Barnsley, it's like he is literally one of those guys that can rear up his players, and that's what Portsmouth need right now. They need that little bit of a boost, and I reckon he could get them into the top 6 minimum. Longer term, I think Portsmouth have to be patient with him. If they don't go up this year, you have to do them next year. But I really do believe that Stendel, given the right amount of time and given the right amount of plays, he will go one better than Jackett, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And is it enough time for him, Ben? You know, you've just mentioned there 13 games. Is that enough time for a manager to turn things around on a sinking ship as we are at the minute?
It's tough. All you've got to do is come in and, you know, be good at your man management. You know, arm around the shoulder, some that need kind of that little bit of a roll at them, get them pumped up, and you've got to kind of, you know, work even harder, really. But sometimes with 13 games to go, that, you know, you might not, you don't wait as long, and you'll put the tactics in, and you'll just play with freedom. You know, if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. And, you know, you're chasing the playoffs. Let's go on a good run right now because, like the other lad said before, last time you went into the playoffs, you went in bad form. Charlton went in great form. So if you can go in the playoffs winning 9 out of your last 13 games, you'll go in with a good run and you will get into the playoffs. And hopefully, whoever you get in the semi-finals, you can beat them. But I reckon 13 games is still enough time. It's what, a quarter, just over a quarter of the season. And if you're a good manager, you can work with that. I think John Sheridan came into Fleetwood once. We lost 6 in a row. He won 7 out of 13 and kept us up. We were near to the playoffs come the end of the season and relegation.
Yeah, it's amazing what kind of someone coming in can do, isn't it? And we were just talking there, Ben. I don't know if you've been able to catch any of the stream for the last sort of hour or so, but we were mentioning a phrase that kept on coming back to us was the sort of the cloud that the players have been under. And a lot of people were saying before the manager was sacked this morning, Kenny Jackett, that a blame has to fall on the players at this moment in time. Do you agree with that? What do you think?
I do agree with it in some regard. I think some of the players might have let him down, but in my opinion, you've got to feel the motivation comes from the manager. In my opinion, it always comes from him setting out those tactics, and if they don't like how negative it's been, or you know, it's like if you're winning, it's all right and players love it, but when you start to lose it, and that Portsmouth were doing, that's when you lose some of the players. So some blame has to go on the players. They've not been good enough for the last 6 to 8 games, and they're the ones going out playing it. But tactically, I think it's been very the same from Portsmouth, isn't it? And, it's been no real desire. Like, all you want from a Portsmouth side is never give up, relentless style. And you had that under Paul Cook. And even in your first season in League One, you never gave up. And away from home as well, I think you've been poor. Not been as good at home this year as well. I know, obviously, the Fratton Faithful, in my opinion, is the best in the EFL. I don't think you'll beat that. But he's had 3.5 years, Jackett. First season, okay. Last 2, he's failed, unfortunately. So over a period of time, I think Jackett is the blame has got to lay on him.
Absolutely. And just finally, mate, I'd be interested to see, have you got a sort of top 6 in mind that you'd expect League One to finish come the beginning of May? Have you got any teams that you're thinking?
Yeah, my top 2, Hull and Peterborough, are pretty much settled. I was very much into my points per game. I think they're going to, at the moment, average about 86, 87 points, away above the rest. I think, really, the top 5 are done. I think Lincoln should get in there. I think Sunderland and Doncaster should get in there. The 6th place is going to be between, in my opinion, Ipswich, Portsmouth, and potentially Blackpool, who've got games in hand, but I just can't see them. I think it's going to be a shootout between Ipswich and Portsmouth, but I really do hope for your sake and the Portsmouth faithful that Portsmouth get into the top 6. But if they don't get in this year, I think they'll come back stronger next year and win the league. I really believe that if they get the right man in.
Ben, thank you very much for taking a bit of time out of your day to speak to us. Really appreciate you coming on.
Mate.
And up the Cods.
See you later, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Right, we're going to end the show now. Andrew's just left us. We're going to bring back Brendan and the legend Sean Meads as well. Brendan, Mike, your reaction to what Ben was just saying there?
Well, to say we're going to come back stronger and win the league, we've said that for the last 4 years.
We have, but I think it's plausible now. I completely agree with him.
Yeah, I think it possibly is. Yeah, but obviously it all depends who we get in. Did you get the picture I sent you on Instagram while we've been?
Mate, I haven't looked at my phone. Do you want to just tell us?
Well, it was Kevin Harper wishing Pompey a good luck and bringing a new manager in. I know he's been doing his management courses up in Scotland. I think he's been doing it with. So, and he's said in the press before that he's unfinished business at Fratton Park. So he's another one we could, in the future, maybe throw in the coaching staff and maybe promote it up to management.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, Tom. People keep mentioning this Stendel geezer. Now, what are they basing that he's a good manager on? Because Barnsley,
promotion with Barnsley to the Championship is what I would imagine.
They had a 46.97% win rate. However, he's been at the Hearts of Midlothian for the last, 17 games, and he's drawn 5 and lost 7. So, I mean, it doesn't always statistics tell the true picture or whatever. But I don't see him as being our man at all.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I haven't had enough time this afternoon. I've been dashing around organising people to come on the stream to have a proper look at who the next manager would be. I mean, all I would say is that I really hope that the time is taken in order to get the right man, whether it's Stendel, whether it's any of the other names that have been bounced around. And at the moment, we have nothing concrete. This is all entirely speculation, and it's important that we remember that. What I think we do need to be careful of is, throwing names in. I know Ollie said it in his prediction, but throwing names in like Chris Wilder, Frank Lampard, Harry Redknapp coming out to the South Coast. It's just not plausible, is it? And it's not. I don't think it's beneficial either to start the rumour going round that these names are. Oh, I think Andrew's about to rejoin us for the last little bit. That these names are sort of ones to think about. I was going to ask you actually, Mike, what you make of perhaps a Sol Campbell return to Fratton Park.
No, definitely not. No, I'd rather have Steve Claridge, and I know that
he took the man around, did he?
Yeah. I'd rather have Steve Claridge, Guy Whittingham. I mean, for a short-term period. I mean, why not Jamo and Horizon, as Sean said earlier? I mean, just for a short period of time. If we don't make it, we don't make it. But we then can bring in a manager that's going to do the big business, because I don't think there's enough time to really go and get the right person now, unless there's been talks already.
Yeah, and on Stevie Claridge as well. Just looking at his we go on win percentages. He's been at Salisbury obviously since April 2015. 204 games in charge. He's got a win percentage of 65%.
Yeah,
I know it's a completely different league, and I understand that completely. You know, the difference between the National League South and the League and League One.
Certainly a motivator, that guy.
Yeah.
Certainly a motivator.
Yeah, I know
Which
you
is something we've been terribly starved of, isn't it, in recent years at Fratton Park? Sean, what are your closing words, mate, to the stream before we wrap up and go and enjoy the rest of our Sunday evening?
Basically, if we get the right man in, I'm going to predict another 31 points from the season, putting us on 84 points. I reckon we'd be in the top 6.
Top 6? Are you going to give us a position that you're thinking?
Depends where 84 points puts you, but I'm looking at 6th place.
Next 2 games, are we going to win those next 2 games?
No, I've got 2 draws. I'll take a point each from those 2 draws just to get us going.
Yeah.
Right now you would, wouldn't you? And I think everyone would completely concur with that.
Our actual fixtures do look quite good for us to gain the points.
Especially we're under new care as a manager. Thank you very much, the legend Sean Meads, for jumping on. Brendan, just your final. Thank you, and have a good night, mate. Just your final word, Brendan, on how you feel, or whatever you wanted to add to the stream before we get going.
Well, yeah, I'm very optimistic about who we're going to bring in, as everyone probably is, and we're all happy that change is among us, because we're all uncertain. I say finishing the game last night, we didn't have a clue what's going to happen going forward. But I'm probably, as I said, we all are excited and willing to accept whatever comes forward, as we all were when Cookie left. We're all being quite positive about Jackett, weren't we, when we first signed him, really, weren't we? We thought, breath of fresh air. He's done the business before. But if you want to, I've just had a message from Andrew Moon. I'm going to be on BBC Radio Solent tomorrow morning talking about Jackett sacking. So if you want to tune in to Solent, either at 7:20 or 8:20, I'll be on there.
We'll all be listening. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we will speak to you on Tuesday night.
Will do.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, gents. I reckon Mike's had quite a lot of alcohol so far this evening, and I think he will probably have a lot more. Andrew, you are very quickly going to be, well, you probably won't because it's a Sunday night, isn't it? And it's early start tomorrow and all that. But celebrations in order, aren't they? Just give us your final word to the people that are still with us. Yeah, live on Fournilwritten all over it.
I think as a weight been lifted, I think everyone feels the same. The passion's back already, and that we feel better about life. And as not to kick Kenny into touch whilst kick a man when he's down, but I'm pleased he's had 3 good years. He's had his go, and it didn't work out. So good luck to him in the future, and I have no problem with that. But in the same context, I feel there's a weight lifted, and we're all really, really looking forward to the last part of the season. Whereas before, we thought we're stuck with this till the end of the year and then go on to next season, didn't we? So we've got a chance.
Yeah. Can I say keep the faith in my closing words now? Am I allowed to say that?
Because I've got my faith back in Mark Catlin. I've got my faith back in the Eisners. And I think that goes a long way. And as they say, the king's dead, long live the king.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for that. We will see you just 48 hours from now, Tuesday night. Peterborough United versus Portsmouth is live with us here on Fournilwritten all over. Andrew's going to join us for that one. Be great if you could as well, live from 6 o'clock here on the channel. For now, keep the faith and again,
Pompey.
and play up Pompey. Bye bye from us.